This is an overview of the on-deck bag for Penn Fire, aka the RIT Bag, aka the tools that no one wants to need to use. This is important because in any major disaster, usually it's a chain of small mistakes that results in tragedy, not just one large mistake. That's true in plane crashes, that's true in any number of things, and it's especially true in the fire service. If you go look at line of duty deaths, usually it's not just one thing that went wrong. So this bag is important because if used properly, it can stop that chain of errors or mistakes or problems. It's basically a giant problem-solving kit for when there is a firefighter in danger on the fire ground. So, overview on Penn Squad 13 and 14, it is in the engineer's compartment. If you don't know where it's at, go look for it and make sure you do. You can see it sitting under Sean Jewell's coat there in this photo in that roll-up door. It's MSA manufactured, but it's compatible with both MSA and Scott packs using various attachments. I know for Clay's Scott packs, it will attach to their umbilicals that are on their right hip of their SCBAs. Other departments I don't know about. It might be worth looking around to see if we can figure out what other departments use what. So this pack should be placed on the fire ground by either a company designated by command or by a standby company that is waiting for something else to do. It should not remain in the squad on a well-developed fire ground. Every fire ground is different, so it might be the third company there that's waiting around. It might be the eighth, but any company that is, you know, if we've got enough companies on a fire ground to have one in the yard, that bag should be in the yard so it's ready to go at a moment's notice. Like I said, this bag is meant for when things go wrong. So it needs to be ready at all times. That means both on the fire ground and when we do our morning checks. It needs to be treated like an SCBA or like any other equipment we plan on taking into a fire with us. That means it needs to be checked every day. That also means the bottle needs to be kept full. This is an overview of what it looks like when you break out all the components. So you've got the bottle and the attachments in the bag back there, and then I've laid out all the tools that are in there as well. Main function of this thing is emergency air. It's going to buy you some time where you try and get somebody out of an IDLH environment when there's been a mayday or some other problem. As you can see on that far left photo, that's showing the base of the bottle. You've got your air gauge, you've got your knob like you have on a normal SCBA, you've got your bell warning if it's low on air, and then it goes off into those connections. Now, those gauges are at the side that the bag opens to. So the top of the bottle will be near where the flap is sewed to the bag. So if you're working in an environment where you can't see, it's important you know which end of the bottle you're working with. Middle shows how it's kind of stowed away there. And then on the right, that's showing the connection for disconnecting the air hoses and regulator to fill the bottle. So how does it get connected to somebody? Well, it's got a couple of different ways that can do that. Simplest way is a quick fill, which you can see on the left there. That's that hose comes off, transfers someone to air who needs it without slowing their exit. So it connects into that, that location there that I've circled in the middle photo. And that attachment actually has a light that kind of illuminates it. So if you're in a dark environment, you can find it a little bit easier on somebody's pack. So you connect that, the two bottles then equal out, just like if you're trying to fill from a compressor bank, you know, the bank is trying to get equal with that bottle. When the pressures equalize, you can disconnect. If the firefighter is okay, they can then exit the structure without being slowed down. If that doesn't work, you've got the regulator for a bit more complicated problem. So if someone's having a free flow issue, a damaged regulator of any kind, you can just swap that out straight from their mask, and they're able to breathe. It's a bit more complicated a solution because now they're attached to that bag, and that might slow them trying to get out. And the last thing we have is the spare mask, which you can see in this photo here. That's the most complicated fix because now you're dealing with donning and doffing equipment in the middle of, a fire, trying to get somebody out. So if somebody's got a small leak in their mask, I would try and cover it with a thermal glove and get out because you're maintaining your mobility. If you're taking this mask off, you're exposing your head to a lot of smoke and heat and gas. That's not good for you. So that's kind of a last case scenario, or worst case scenario, but it is in there if we need it. So in the rest of this photo, you've got kind of all the other uses in your on deck bag. So you've got 2 wire cutters and a pair of bolt cutters. You've got a piece of webbing. You have your 5-loop kind of harness. You've got some lights, you've got the mask, and then you've got a mega mover. So the 3 other secondary uses for the on deck bag are illumination, extrication, and evacuation. Illumination, you've got 2 flashlights, like I said. They're not for everyday use. I wouldn't want that to be my primary source of light, but they will provide light in a scenario where maybe you can't get at something or you're having trouble seeing. The strobe is useful if a fire, in a mayday situation, if the firefighter is radioed command and said that they're looking for the exit. If you have that strobe on, your helmet or your tank or something, might provide a way for them to find you and get out a little bit faster. Secondary use, extrication, pretty simple. 2 wire cutters and bolt cutters. If you come across a firefighter who's trapped, you've got now, you got the tools you need to start working on getting them out. And I know a lot of us carry wire cutters in our bunker gear. You might not be able to reach it. You might drop it. You've got spares. And in a perfect world, 2 people can be working on cutting somebody out, get them out twice as fast. Third secondary use, evacuation. This is getting someone out using the manpower you have available. And the on-deck bag that we have actually does a really good job of kind of giving you different options based on your situation and the number of people you've got there. For 1 to 2 rescuers, I would use the 5-loop. You stick their feet through the red, their arms through the yellow, and you pull by the green. Green is go. So it's handy. It takes a little bit of time to get set up, but then you've got a really good anchor point on either a firefighter or if you come across a downed victim, with the firefighter, this can be used to help get somebody out if they don't have a DRD or some other way to anchor. You've also got your mega mover. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. It's tarp with handles. It's great for moving bariatric patients, but anyone that's tried to move a fat guy through a skinny hallway, that it's not the fastest process around. And it usually takes 3 to 4 people. And I'm not calling any of our firefighters fat, but we are going to be all wearing a lot of gear if this is used in a mayday situation. So you got to, anybody on our on our department's going to be heavy, and you're going to need a lot, 3 to 4 people to move them probably. And webbing, it's always useful to have it within reach. See, that's what's daisy chain there. So once again, if you need an extra purchase on somebody's equipment or something, you've got webbing there. So in summary, on deck bag, it's for when things go very bad. So it's important that we are at our best when things are at our worst. Not only for you, it's for our fellow firefighters and our fellow departments, because they may be relying on us, and we owe them our best. Primary function, like I said, is life support. Secondary functions are all about egressing from that IDLH. So, you know, being able to see, being able to get them out, and then being able to free them if they're trapped. So that's all I have about kind of what's in that pack. Now what every company should do is go out and actually train with that hands-on. You know, these are tools. You're not going to learn how to, you know, operate tools from a slideshow. So right here, I've got a suggestion for a practical drill. Very simple, kind of located down firefighter and extricate. So either black out your mask or the broom. You know, with the mask, just put your foot on backwards so it makes it difficult to see, and have another firefighter trapped in a different part of the bay. Have them locate them, give a proper radio assessment to command, and then use the on-deck bag. Deliver spare air, change the regulator, the mask, depending on what's going on, and then have both firefighters exit back to where the drill started. For squad, or excuse me, for station 13, I'd recommend using that storage room where the washer and dryer are. You know, have somebody go in there, shut the lights off, so everyone's having to work in the dark, and then, you know, move along the wall to get out. Or if you wanted a larger space, you could go use the garage in the back. 14, the locker areas are almost perfect for, you know, trying to locate somebody in a skinny hallway. Or you've got the bay storage room towards the rear exit. You could use that as well. So that's all I got. Thanks for your time.